personal opinion and not necessarily that of all body fitness. Hey YouTube, Patricia here. I wanted to talk to you guys, give my own personal rant because I'm a little upset. Sometimes people should remember the old adage, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, because a tweet recently killed a friend of mine. And I want to share that story with you guys and just kind of spread some positive vibes because there's so much negative out there, you know. I mean, if you turn on the news, if you watch the news, you can get news in your phone, in your iPad, in your office's computer, your home computer, on your TV, on the car radio. All this bad news constantly bombarding us makes us all a little anxious and a little crazy, I think, sometimes. And just society's general attitude today is about being personally insulted all the time, right? We're all personally insulted all the time, looking for reasons to be insulted, right? Can't we look for reasons to be happy and be grateful and be joyful? Can't we look for that more, right? And that's what I really want to talk about today because this really bugs me. Okay, it really sticks my craw, as they say. All right. And I believe a lot of what's going on in our own personal lives, our health, our wellness, our exercise, our diet is all related to our mindset too. You have to have a good mindset, you have to exercise, and you got to eat well in order to have a beautiful life, have a beautiful state all the time. And I strive to do that. Okay. And this is an example of not having that. Okay. All right. So I have a friend. He's 73 years old. He's retired. He's a veteran. He worked for the government as a negotiator for a lot of years. Great guy, family man. Like I said, he's retired and, had a military career and also served. And so, he is proud of this country and he served as a docet. And if anybody knows what that is, that's a volunteer in a museum. I guess sometimes they're paid, but this is totally a volunteer position. Okay, gets no money out of this. Done it for years, out of his own time, his own personal time and energy to give back. Okay, at the Marine Corps Museum, I believe it is, right? And he even bakes a cake every Tuesday when he goes up there to bring to the other coworkers. Great guy. Okay, does these tours, right? Learns all about this stuff and does these tours for people. And he's been doing it for years. Okay, and recently he said something which I guess bothered somebody. Okay, and what it is isn't so important as the fact of that. When I was a kid, I'm 50 years old, so maybe I'm older than some of you, but when I was a kid, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, you say nothing. And you also respect your elders, okay? Especially a retired veteran and everything else. Sometimes older people don't have the same filter. They may just blurt things out, which maybe they shouldn't, right? And it wasn't a racial slur or anything like that. It was something about his own personal opinion about warfare and taking care of the hungry people in this country or something of that nature. So it didn't seem like anything all that offensive to me. But regardless, the woman that took his tour had gotten herself all worked up at what he said that she felt the need to hurry up and tweet it, right? Tweet it out to the management or whatever about how inappropriate he was, right? Not taking the time to think that this guy's a volunteer, spends his own time, served the country, worked for the government a lot of years, and does this out of kindness in his heart. And she couldn't, and he had a lot of knowledge. So she couldn't overlook that little thing, right? So she tweeted things that got him in a bit of trouble, okay? Because now everybody's worried about being offensive, right? Everybody's so on guard about that, right? We got to cater to the lowest common denominator, right? So his, I don't know what the director of the museum or whatever wanted to call him into the office. And he's like, can't we talk on the phone because I don't want to drive in during your hours, when I work different hours and the traffic, blah, blah. And they're like, no, you have to come here as an employee. He's like, I'm not an employee, I'm paid. I'm not a volunteer, right? So he decided not to go in and said he tore up his badge and mailed it to them. Okay, quit. Now, this took away something from him. Okay, it took away some sense of something for him that people were counting on him, something he could do, something he could contribute to society, and something he was kind of proud of. It took that all away because of this woman's tweet. Now, I'm sure she didn't mean to hurt him, right? But you know what? I think it totally made him depressed. And he actually told me it did make him depressed. And you know what happened after being depressed for about a week? He developed pneumonia, double pneumonia, was in the hospital, turned septic in the hospital, which means some kind of infection from the hospital. All of his organs failed. He died twice. He was in intensive care for well over a week. We didn't know if we'd ever see him again. I'm not a family member, so I couldn't go visit. I could just call his family and ask them what's going on, right? And that bothers me, of course. I worry about this guy, care about him, and his family, his wife, and everybody. And I'm sure they're all very concerned too, all over the stupid tweet, in my opinion. Because when you're upset and you feel depressed, your defensive mechanisms, your immunity gets lowered, right? And I'm sure that had a lot to do with him getting sick, because I've known him for well over a year, never a sick day, really. Always very healthy, very strong, very vibrant, goes for walks, does everything. But not having this to do anymore, getting upset and worried about it, feeling depressed about it, caused him to lower his resistance, basically killed him. He died twice. Thank God he's recovering. He's in a facility now, rehab facility. He's going to go home at the end of the week, I believe. So things are looking good, and I pray that everything stays that way. I've been praying a lot for him, okay? And you can pray for him as well and his family. But if this woman would have thought about it, did she really have to express her opinion that she felt offended, right? It's a free museum probably too. She probably didn't pay for the tour, I bet, right? And couldn't she just say, oh, well, he's older, he has an opinion. He doesn't have a right to express his opinion. He's not an employee. He's expressing an opinion, right? And he's older. People that are older sometimes don't have that filter. I know that. I ignored it. Since I was a little kid, I remember my father had Alzheimer's, and he sometimes said things inappropriately. We just ignored them if we didn't like that. Try to put him on track. This man had a lot of knowledge to share. She could have asked some questions. She could have turned it around. It was on her too, right? So anyway, that's my rant. So think before you tweet. Do you really have to say that negative thing? Do you have to contribute to all that toxicity out there? Can't you find something to be grateful for? Okay? Think about that. That's my message today. Now do this workout. Okay?
Let's get down for the abs right here. And this is your mat you have for a little comfort, if you like. You're going to lean back and come forward. Now, the further back you lean, the harder it is. So you do what you can do, right? Your positioning is up to you. If you only go back a little bit or if you go back really deep, that's entirely up to you. But work those abs. Good. You can do it. Nice. How about 5 more? Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's put your hands behind you now. I'll come towards you so you can see me better. And bring those knees in and stretch them out. In and out. Good. I like this one. This one feels good. Makes you feel strong and powerful. Works those quads a little bit as well as our abs. Good and nice. And good work.